Welcome inside the Football Man Cave. I am Ian Foran, and this is Lovey. How we doing, Lovey?
Good, mate. Do you know what? I hate it when people say that. You know, when you listen to a podcast and they go like that, how you doing? How was your week? How was your week been this week? Like, mate, I can't be answering that. I'll tell you what has done my head in this week, though. Well, you're watching, because it's transfer window week, whatever the fuck you want to call it, transfer window month.
Transfer window.
Yeah, well, yeah. And they have that countdown. What does my head in is
the little thing in corner.
Yeah, that's all right, because when you're a kid you get giddy with that. But what does my head in is sports reporters. That's what does my head in. Like,
there seems to have been a new batch of them this time around. Not these past couple of years. It's like
podcasters.
We're going to be one soon.
Mate,
people have referred back to this in a couple of months and replied,
these two
weren't they slating them?
These two idiot podcasters are now telling us what they know about transfers. But like, it's not even that. It's the actual reporter who leads that session. So I don't know. You watch the Transfer Centre on a channel, and it'll be an hour long or 30-minute segment of people chatting about frigging the transfers that are coming in, where they're going. Like, I remember a couple of years ago when it used to be proper agents or reporters that have worked with agents long enough to be able to give you information. Now we've got
it's do you know what it is? It's the era of fan cams.
Mate, we've got me and yous giving our opinion on whether a transfer is good or not. Do you know what I mean? And what's even worse than that is that the reporter that leads it, so like the main, what would you call him, the host the host asks the worst questions around all of it, like just a daft one about, like there was one before, this isn't about transfers, but about a player moaning when he got subbed off, and is this a good idea, and should they be doing that in plain sight? Who gives a shit? The team won. And you know what I mean? He was upset because he got dragged off and he wanted to score more goals.
Because you could sort of see that there was going to be more goals in that. I presume you're talking about Ronaldo. There's going to be more goals in that. So he's a goal scorer. He wants to score goals, but
I get why he took him off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The guy took him off because the week before that they was 2-0 up and they ended up drawing 2-2.
Yeah.
But for like it's they create an issue over
something that doesn't use.
It's not an issue.
Yeah.
It's not an issue.
I think Simon Jordan said it on TalkSport the other day. It was like, there's no need for him to panter that conversation. Like, that's just part of football.
Yeah.
Someone's going to get pissed off that they've been taken off.
All the
Manager's
time.
going to have a chat with him, hopefully.
All the time.
And go, look, we've got another game, and like, we need to go to a 5-3-2, whatever it is.
That isn't a talking point.
No.
That isn't something to have.
But it is now.
Isn't something to have a 15-minute discussion over. Like, that he threw his toys out of the pram and fucking moaned because he got subbed off to the manager, who then squashed it and sorted it out. Listen, I'm saving you for next week. We're winning 2-0, don't matter. Like,
sort your head out.
Oh mate, them sports reporters do my head in. They do my head in.
So you're all right then?
Yeah.
Right, if you've not listened before, we were on the radio, weren't we? We've moved over to the Sports Social Network, and we are now the Football Man Cave podcast. We have socials right across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok and YouTube. So we're recording this, which will be quite fun to sort of see us.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's a graph knowing that you're being recorded and not wanting to look.
Well, I weren't conscious of it until I just mentioned it, and now I'm conscious of it.
Just keep looking at it.
So yeah, give us a follow, like, or whatever it is. Subscribe to the podcast. Obviously, it's going to be a weekly thing. Going to keep it quite light-hearted. We've got a couple of little segments coming up. We're going to bring back Lovey's Tales, which we're going to start in a second, and hopefully reminisce. I'm hoping at one point we'll just get someone to go, oh, I remember that. That's the aim on it. I remember that. But yeah, so it's just 30 plus blokes.
I was going to say 30 plus.
The back end of 30 plus.
I'm out of that.
I know you are. Yeah. Right, so some old dude and me chatting football for the next 45 minutes or so. We're going to kick it off with Lovey's Tales, and Carlos Tevez is the subject.
Yeah, it's Do you know what was mad then? When you did that, I thought that we was going to go to, like, because we used to do the radio. I thought we was going to cut to a tune.
I just bang a tune in now and then bring it back.
I've just realised that this is, we just
I wondered when you looked at me then, I thought,
what's he
don't know?
Anyway, that's the beauty of a podcast, I guess. Yeah, so the one that I'm picking, a bit of a tale, is Carlos Tevez as a whole. the life and the life and development and growth of Carlos Tevez and what he did when he come to Manchester and stuff like that.
And he had a life, didn't he?
Oh mate, like the early times, like well, his mum and dad got off, left him with his uncle for his uncle to look after him, like in Argentina. His uncle then he spilt it on himself. I'm digging his uncle out here when it wasn't even his uncle. He spilt boiling water on his neck at the age of 6. So in that, they say, don't they, like the first couple of years of a kid's upbringing is the telltale of what they're going to be in the future, whether you believe in all that nonsense or whatever.
Sets foundations.
Well, pretty much. His mum and dad have looked at him and gone like, nah, we want to still get about and do whatever we're doing. See you later. Yeah, uncle, my brother, mind me kid. We'll be back in an hour. Yeah. You know, like, remember that old days?
Yeah.
Where's your dad? He's gone shop. That's what happened to Tevez, but with both his parents.
Do you know what, my old man? My mum was working one Saturday, and the video's still at home on like the old like VHS recorder thing. She'd gone shopping. Anyway, she'd come back. My dad had set up a full karaoke, singing Rick Ashley, and there's me just running around with his golf club. Coincidentally, golf club was running around knocking like this little. Like crap ball, and our kid in corner basically was cutting her own fringe, and my dad's just singing away to the video camera.
That's what happens. You get left with a man. So in that first 6 years, boiling oil spilt all over his neck, and then like obviously that wasn't a good start to his life. And like I remember, like the reason why I'm bringing that up is because at the start of when he come to Manchester, well before that, remember when he went to West Ham?
Yeah.
And it was all like he was owned by a company. Him and Mascherano was owned by a company, which had never happened before. It's happened in South America loads, but in England we'd never heard of it. This company owned him. They've took him from this current club and they've loaned him to whoever. So, and then from that he then went to Man United on loan again. He was loaned by the company. Yeah. Then he decided he didn't want to be at United. We all know that story. We know that like how it all broke down and it fell out. And then he decided, you know what I mean, I want to move closer to home. And he went to Juventus, which was further away. Like all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, this is pretty much.
We're going to talk about FIFA anyway later on. But when a player says they're homesick and then they move to a rival club, pisses me off.
but I think that's all the makings of the foundations of from the beginning. Like he's never going to be settled. Because he's never been settled from when he was a kid. And then he got, obviously, as he got older, into his like 10-year-old, 11, 12, 13s, like football was his passion, was really good at it, got took on at Boca. And his best friend was a kid called Dario Coronel, both 17-year-old at the time, played in he was a Paraguayan, and him and Tevez was best mates, playing before they went to Boca Juniors. Both played at under 17s, under 18s, under 19s level, and they was just both 17. They obviously was good enough to play in these older ages. And this kid was his best mate, and he was a bit of a rogue. Used to get about like robbing bikes off kids and stuff like that. He was tipped to be the biggest South American star. This kid, and he was Tevez's roommate, partner, everything. Anyway, because he was still involved in drugs and gang life, he ended up taking his own life, which at 17 played a massive effect in Carlos Tevez's life.
You can imagine, can't you?
To the point where he didn't want to play anymore. He chinned it off. And then, obviously, he sorted his head out. But again, that just shows you why he was the way he was. Signed for Boca Juniors and then just was unreal for Boca Juniors.
I remember hearing...
because you didn't know who he was, and we couldn't. It wasn't like now. You've got Sky, and you can watch anything on any channel. You can go onto YouTube and watch me. I go to YouTube to watch Argentinian football. Do you know what I mean? And then he did that well at Boca Juniors at such a young age. Corinthians paid a hefty fee for him to go to Corinthians. Now, an Argentinian to go from Argentina to a Brazilian league was unheard of back then.
It sets the president as such for his
unheard of. His career, isn't it? Yeah, already he's gone somewhere where everybody instantly hates him. It's a kid with big scars down the side of his neck. Doesn't look the most pleasing type of individual that you'll meet.
Just looks pissed off.
But you can see why. You can see
why.
That's it. Do you know what I mean? And then kills unreal at Corinthians, and then obviously when we know him and we start to see him, he comes on the scene at West Ham. Does what he does at Old Trafford, saved them from the drop. I remember when Sheffield United lost their head, saying it was all Tevez's fault. Like that was Sheffield United. They won 38 games he was playing. It was all Tevez's fault. And he was a scapegoat all the time, and he created a lot of problems for himself. But I think it was because of his background and his findings.
It was baggage with him, weren't it?
Yeah, and I just remember how unreal he was at United in that era when it was Ronaldo, Rooney, and Tevez.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a United fan. If people don't know I'm United, I'm a say it. So, but that sort of late zeros. I don't even know what that era was called.
Yeah.
I can never get. Is it notice? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that's what the hipsters call it.
Yeah. Zeros, but around that, Ronaldo, Rooney, and Tevez.
Yeah.
Like the flying red arrows.
What was mad about that as well is that Fergie wanted to sign him at the end of that year.
Yeah.
But I think it was around. Now don't hold me to this, but I'm sure it was around like bonuses. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about that in a bit.
Yeah.
But it was around bonuses and his contract length. Like Fergie wanted to give him 4 years, but he only wanted 2 years because.
He's going to be homesick in 2 years.
He likes to dart about, obviously, as you can see. So he was like, no, I don't want that. Fergie was like, well, this is what we want to give you. And the funny thing is at the end of his loan spell with Fergie, because it was 2 years, wasn't it? 2 seasons loan spell. Yeah. At the end of that, they wanted to sign him for I think it was a further 3 or 4 years. He didn't want to. He just wanted another 2 years at the same wages or more wages, because obviously if the contract is longer, I'm guessing the wages will be lower. But then obviously City come knocking and said, listen, we will give you what you want.
Yeah. Whatever you want,
we've got all the money. Yeah. We'll give you what you want. Come over here. And do you know what was mad about that is it was the one. I think that when that happened, and then remember that big billboard in town as you drove into town.
Yeah.
What did it say on it now?
Welcome to Manchester.
Welcome to Manchester with Tevez celebrating, and that was unreal. And then when he left City to go to Juventus because he was homesick and he wanted to go back to Argentina. And he went to Juventus for more money per week. Do you know what I mean? Which I'm not going to grumble with that. City and United fans got together, and a guy drove around in a skip.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he was called. A guy drove around in a skip, and you could take your Tevez shirt, blue or red, throw it in the skip, and he'd burn it for you. And people because everybody hated him. United fans hated him, City fans hated him. Remember when he did that at the Champions League against Bayern Munich with Mancini? When Mancini said, right, you're going on, he went, nah, I'm not going on. No, and he went missing. He went missing and went back to Argentina playing golf.
It's Gareth Bale, isn't it?
I think it was like 3 months.
Yeah.
He went playing golf.
Ages.
He went for ages and they couldn't find him. All because of that, with the Munich thing. And then he came back against Norwich. Scored an hat-trick in his first game back, did the golf swing, took them in, and then helped us win the Premier League for the first time in our history. Like, mate, he was just
proper shithouse, wasn't he?
Yeah, but like I said, like you can see why. Yeah. Like I think that when you look at his upbringing and and what he dealt with, even in his teens, you can see why he's got a little bit of that in him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's probably changed now he's got older. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
Well, he died about. He went to
Did he go to China?
Went to China for a bit from Juventus because he was homesick, and then went back. Then he went back to Argentina. Then I think he left Argentina, went back to China, and then went back to Argentina.
He bounced like £1 million a week or something.
I think he was on about $500,000. I think it was about $500,000, like $700,000 a week or something.
If you can get it, you get it, don't you, basically.
But he was like, for everything what people say is, and for the amount of people that don't really like him for what he's done within football, like with the moves that he's made within football, and he's money hungry and he gets about. Like for me, he's never had a stable upbringing from his kids. So guys like us that can come home to your mum every day from school and do what you want and know that it's always going to be there. Like you can't be in the mind of a guy like that.
No.
So and I think it's unfair for people to have a pop at him when he's had all of that shite before he was 20 years old.
Plus, as well, if you're in a job and you're getting offered more money somewhere else, you're going to do it, aren't you? Yeah. Especially if your job only stretches, say 15, 20 years.
Of course you are. Yeah.
100%. I'm not bothered about what people earn or anything like that. We're going to get onto bonuses in a little bit, but if money's there and you've only got a short career, get in, get out, earn your money, bugger off.
Yeah, and
enjoy it after.
But I think that
you've got to remember how much footballers give up.
Yeah, oh yeah, they give, but people don't look at that. They just look at you're wearing my kit, you're wearing my badge, we're paying you ridiculous amounts of money. Just fucking do your job.
Yeah.
just do it, love doing it, and stay here forever if you're good at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's mad.
It is. It's crazy. I've missed out Lovey's tales, mate. I'll be honest.
Mate, do you know what? When I go through the archives from when we did the show,
the
radio show, it was mad. Like, because there's so many. And I think that, like, because it was for, like, it was a Manchester radio station for Manchester, so I always tried to find, like
a hook.
Ones around, centred around Manchester. But when you branch out and start looking, I mean, the Cloughy one, like, that I'm going to do.
Do you know what? I listened to a podcast called Under the Cosh, and they had Mark Crossley on there, and it was the best. I laughed for the full hour of just Brian Clough stories, and I think there's a TikTok account of just, I think I sent it, just Brian Clough stories and interviews and stuff like that. Yeah, I think he's brilliant.
He's mad. Well, I remember when we was doing the show, the radio show, and I started to get stuff together for that, and I watched a couple of documentaries on him. It's the way he is in interviews.
Yeah.
Like it's the way he carries himself. Like, he's just a mad guy.
He's brilliant.
Yeah, but like, people forget, like well, I'll talk about it next time. But like, what he does with Forest.
Yeah,
I know the damn United with Leeds United and that documentary.
Unreal,
like that, the Forest thing. Like, it's pretty much career mode.
Yeah.
He did career mode in real life.
In the 80s.
Mate, he did.
It's madness. Right, let's get on. I want to talk about this, and it was I think I put it up on socials this today. Champions League. We've spoke about it a couple of times, haven't we?
Yeah.
So when we were growing up, like, obviously we're the old man and I'm into my late 30s. But the Champions League was the Champions League, weren't it? You had to be a champion to qualify for the Champions League, hence the name.
Yeah.
The point is now, you can be fourth, you cannot win a Premier League title and win the Champions League.
And then win the World Super Cup or the World Club
so you
Cup.
Could be world champion
you could
never win your domestic league.
And you've never won your domestic league. Mate, how does that even make sense? Obviously we know why.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of money in it.
There's some pound notes there, isn't there?
Yeah. But it's not that though.
The thing is, like with Champions League now, the group stage is for me boring.
Yeah.
Because you basically sort of
the way they seed them as well. That's why it's boring.
United it's different style, but usually it's two friendlies and
one
an hard
decent
match.
game.
Yeah. And then only when you get into the knockouts is it when it starts getting exciting.
And they've done it all because they want the best of the best to play in a quarter, semis and finals.
Yeah.
That's what they want. Mate, well, tell you what, get rid of the second, third and fourth place and then do a two-leg knockout like it used to be. And
way more exciting.
Earn your stripes and win the league, win the Champions League.
Players won't be as knackered because they're not playing 6 extra matches midweek, travelling all over the place. You could literally start in February and just run that straight through when everyone's like rocking and rolling, past your Christmas breaks and all that malarkey. And you won't be playing on dog shit AstroTurf pitches over in Switzerland or some shit. Like someone's rented out the local AstroTurf and lads, will fancy a kick about us United tonight.
It's mad. It does my head in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe that. Like I said, it might be because we're old fashioned, but like, I'm not interested in second place in Cyprus playing against City United, Juventus. I'm not interested. I don't care. Like that, what Sheriff Club Sheriff?
Yeah.
Whatever they might have won their league in wherever their league is. Do you know what I mean?
Bang them in Europa.
But what if they've won the league? Then fair dues.
I mean, that's another thing. They've got the Europa League, so like 5th, 6th place, and then you've got this Conference League to qualify for the shit Europa League nobody wants to be in.
Yeah.
Like, where's it end? It is just literally you'll finish mid-table at some point and you'll be in Europe.
Mate, all roads lead to a frigging Super League, what everybody kicked off about and started moaning for.
Yeah.
Like the Champions League is just a diluted version of the Super League. That's all it is now.
Yeah.
Because if you're not a champion and you can win a league, that's like rocking up to the darts, having never played in the World Championships in your whole life, never qualified through any pub tournaments that you've done.
Like me, can't hit a dartboard.
Looking out and winning it.
Yeah.
And then being the world champion. being the hands down best player in the world.
Yeah. For like a full year.
It's like a 100-metre sprinter not qualifying it in the sprint time that you've got to qualify for the Olympics, but then because they're fast anyway, allowing them to run in it and then winning the Olympics, winning a gold medal.
Do you remember though, back in our we were going to say this a lot, back in our day, in the 90s.
Back in my day.
Back in our day. Remember the Fair Play League that got you into Total Cup?
Yeah, that was weird.
So if you were like the best behaved club,
yeah. So if you got the least yellows and red cards,
yeah,
you was
because like West Ham got in there.
Yeah, you was entered into. Honestly, it's going to get to a point where everybody except the 3 teams that got relegated are in Europe.
Yeah.
Mate, if we don't sort it out, like it baffles me. Like the Premier League, the Champions League is the top 4.
Yeah.
Go into in your big leagues, I think it's in 4 leagues in it. The top 4 in the 4 leagues, 2 in the others, but it doesn't matter because anybody that's not a champion, you're in it. You're in it. And then the Europa League is 5th, 6th, and maybe 7th, depending if it's the Prem. And then you've got frigging the Europa Conference League, where what are we doing there now? We're dropping down to the. If you're in the top half of the league, you get in Europe.
I don't know because I'm still confused now. League Cup, does that get you in Europa League?
I don't think so.
Because
I think that gets you in the Conference League.
Does it? I don't know.
I don't.
Because if the League Cup gets you in the Europa League, but a Champions League spot at the end wins it, then another place down the league.
Mate, it's mad.
And then 9 times out of 10, whoever wins the League Cup or the FA Cup are going to be in the top 4 usually. So then that's another 2 places down for everybody else. Whereas it used to be, if you was a runner-up of the FA Cup, you got
yeah.
It's just, like I say, obviously we know it's all down to what it's like the World Cup qualifiers. Like I don't even watch qualifiers because they're shit. Because you're literally just playing dog shit teams like San Marino who haven't won ever on a regular basis, and you're thinking, well, we'll win that one.
But I know that you don't watch it, but I watch all the qualifiers and that for the World Cup and the Euros, and I don't mind that because it gives us San Marino a fair playing field to try and get into a major tournament.
It's not fair though, is it?
But it is.
Their top scorer, I looked at this the other week, their top scorer's got 9 goals.
Right, but you get what I'm saying though. It's a country that can enter a World Cup if they can win it. If they don't mess about, if I don't know, FIFA don't mess about with seeding and stuff
Andorra,
like that.
Macedonia, all these countries, I get it, it's World Cup, but realistically you're never going to qualify.
Yeah, I know that, but and what they should do,
like a World Cup conference.
No, because you're messing about with all that nonsense again. This is what I'm saying, like, just keep it as simple as it was. Like, I remember a friend of mine, a PT friend of mine, who used to say to his clients, mate, if you couldn't have it 70 years ago, don't fucking put it in your body. And it stems back to loads of things. Like, look at how the tournaments was run 50 years ago. Mate, just run them like that. Just keep it as simple as possible. If you're the champion, you're in the Champions League.
Euro, when the Denmark won it, Euro 92? Euro 92? There was only 16 teams in the European Championship, weren't there?
Yeah. I think it's only just turned to more. Yeah.
And they're going to open it up again.
Yeah, to 64.
Yeah.
Which is daft.
Stupid.
Yeah, but that's what winds me up. It's like the Champions League champions can be 4th place.
Yeah.
It could just have scraped in, by the way.
Like last goal.
4th place, just to scraped in.
5th place.
And then the seeding, the way they seed it then. So if you're like United, as an example, scrape into the top 4. I've had a shocking season. Scrape into the top 4, get into that, and then they get seeded because they're Man United and they've won the Champions League countless times. They'll then get seeded in Pot B. So that means then they get 2 fairly shit teams.
Yeah. And they'll still struggle with, I'll be honest.
Yeah, but then that gives United an unfair advantage because we're going to play against a team from Cyprus and a team from Ireland, and we're going to smash them regardless. So we're going to finish 2nd, and we're going to be in the last 16. Then we've got an opportunity to get into the quarters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I think it's daft. And I tell you what else is daft as well is they have to keep all of the teams from the same country away from each other. Now, if it was the champions of champions, you wouldn't need to do that. You could just get all these balls with the numbers on it, put it in the pot, stir them up, and put them out.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have to redo them like they did the other week. I'll do for a month when it was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, we did it wrong because we put that ball in that pot and they shouldn't be with them, so we need to move all that around.
Yeah,
mate, just tell us you're cheating. Just tell us, I want PSG to play Real Madrid on this date.
Yeah.
Just tell us. Do you know what I mean?
Mate,
it's a mess. Just make it as simple as possible. If you win the league, you win the thing. And do you know what? People might say, you're saying that because you're a City fan and you've got a chance of, you win the league nearly every year now because your team's unreal and you've got all this money. Mate, I would have said that when we was in League Two.
Mate, we've not won the league for about 8 years, but for me, all the way through, it has to be, because you look at the title of the name, Champions League, there you go. So be a champion, get in it. 2nd to 4th, Europa. 5th and 6th, Europa Conference, if you wish.
The Champions League is the Super League, and everybody kicked off all over the world of football saying that they didn't want a Super League. Well, guess what? That's what you've got.
Yeah, but it's in essence.
Yeah.
But it's all tailored towards
making money.
Yeah.
No, everybody moaned about.
But it was basically your way through kicked off the most, wasn't it? It was like, hang on a minute, we're going to lose some dosh here.
Do you know? Yeah, that's exactly why. Because they've gone, oh Jesus, mate, the Champions League's finished here. Yeah. Get rid of all these teams. What can we do?
Our knockout's going to consist of Malmo versus Young Boys.
yeah, that's pretty much. The champions of the Premier League are going to be West Ham. What we're going to do? What we're going to do?
Dead. Hi, yes, I watched his TikTok the other day. Always, I don't know about you.
Yeah, mate, I'm on it, to be fair.
Really addictive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I seen actually this TikTok to tell me to make TikTok easier by...
To do it or to watch it?
To make it easier, so go hands-free, because sometimes, do you know, if you put your phone down, so you just want it like infinity scroll, a bit like stories on Instagram.
Yeah.
And there was this thing that you go to like accessibility, and you put the swipe up in, and then you put a command, so like play next. So when you say to your phone, play next, it just automatically swipe up on TikTok. It's next level. Mate, next level laziness. That.
I was going to say that is a lazy man's tactic. That the picture in my mind now is you've woke up in the morning, your phone's on the floor on a bedside table, you've turned it on, but you still lay on your front with your hands by your side.
Just going play next.
Just saying play next until you wake up proper.
Wife turns around and going, what the hell are you doing? Play next.
That is terrible. That is terrible. But mate, TikTok's just good, man. Like,
it's a nice
light-hearted bantering on that.
It TikToks the time with, doesn't it? It just goes.
Yeah.
I've had to try and limit myself. Anyhow, I've seen this video, so I'm going to go to, of this guy explaining goal bonuses. So like when Ibrahimovic was at United, so from 0 to 5 goals was say 70 grand he made if he scored 5 goals, and then as the goals went up, he earned more. So when he was at United that 16-17 season, he earned 1.7 million just from scoring goals.
Wow.
The question is, do you think there should be goal bonuses? Because essentially, if you buy a striker, that's their job.
You're paying him to score goals.
It's like hiring you as a PT, right, to train me, and then I'll give you a bonus for every pound I lose. It's just not right, is it?
It is mad. I make some of the it don't make sense.
I'll sign a goalkeeper. Every clean sheet, I'll give you a.
Do you know what?
But then if the clean sheet's not even your fault, so if someone scored an own goal, you'd be like, yeah, mate, you owe me some money.
Yeah, and the matter thing is, like, I think the bonusing system makes perfect sense in semi-professional or amateur football, because there's players that aren't on contracts, that are on pay-as-you-play, and it boosts up the money to help the club and maybe help the club keep the player and help the player stay and give him an incentive after he's finished grafting at work to work a little bit harder and nick a goal or two for you.
Yeah, because you got to remember semi-pro level, people got 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So then they come to training, and then they go and they play the games, and I think if you've got that incentive of a 20 quid, 30 quid, 50 quid bonus of scoring a goal, then I think that helps players on that level. Whereas when you're on a world level and you're getting paid 300 grand a week, mate, I'm not being funny, but you don't need an extra 1.7 million. And don't get me started on the endorsements that they get paid for as well.
Like, Ronaldo making more money on Instagram than he is playing football.
I was just gonna say, most of your biggest stars in all of sport make more money from their endorsements than they do from their salary that they get from their club, from their team. Now, don't get me wrong, it gets halved because there's shed loads of tax that they have to pay. But that's what they've got accountants for, and that's why they've all got Swedish offshore accounts, or they're like Formula 1 drivers and they live in Monaco. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like they're making enough money. Like, how much money do you actually need?
Yeah.
In order to like what?
I know I said like you
funding?
get out. You've got 20 years, but for me, if I was a club, and I'm signing someone to do our job, don't have to pay your bonuses. Like the end of year bonus, which is, you get like if you get, I don't know, just say Leicester and you qualify for Champions League, it's a bit of extra dough in your
buy us all a car or something, and here's an extra $500,000
signing on fees. With FIFA, obviously, you can negotiate your sign-on fees. I'm like, mate, you're just putting your signature down. Why am I giving you extra money? Basically bribing you to come to me.
Mate, and that's your agent, that.
Yeah.
Agent fees 20%.
Yeah.
So, good signing on for you, mate. I'm on a good little chunk. Do you know what I mean? Mate, the bonusing system it is a bit baffling. There is some mad ones out there. I remember at United, a few years back, I don't know the dates or the time frames between when Keane was there. It was capped at $50,000 a week, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I remember that Roy Keane had a clause in his contract, but like somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I just remember reading this that it was if anybody like he made the most.
Right. Also, because he was a captain. He was
the captain made the most.
Someone comes in at $51,000, I get 52.
His contract and changes.
Wow.
So 50 was the cap, and he was at 50. And then if players come in and demanded 60,
that makes sense. So. If you're the captain of the club, imagine I'm captain of the club, you come in and start earning $20,000 more than me, then I'm like, hang on a minute,
I'm doing
you're
all
valued more than me because you're getting more money.
But the goal scorers will be though.
Yeah.
And I think that you've got to look at it positionally a little bit. Yeah. But I liked the sound of with the club as a whole. Like this would never happen to United in this day and age. But a club as a whole are saying this is the level, and this is the amount of money that we're paying.
Yeah.
That's it. We're not.
I mean, I do think though in football in general there should be a cap because like where's it going to stop? I can't remember who it was linked with a bid, linked with a move, and it was talking about $500,000 a week.
Yeah,
and that's somewhere in England or Spain or something.
It's just happened in the MLS with is it Insigne from Napoli?
Well, that might have been it.
He's just signed to Toronto to start for next season.
And $500,000 though, like I know, make as much money as you can, but at the same time, like for clubs, because you see like Derby now, they're about to looks like they're going to the wall.
On their arse.
We've obviously, because we're in Manchester, we know about Bury. Wigan have struggled, Bolton have struggled, Macclesfield have struggled, Stockport have struggled. Like we could go on with great Manchester teams.
Malaga struggled.
Yeah.
And they had the millionaire Al Said. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
there's got to be some sort of realism in football. Like people can live on decent money and earn well at the same time. You're like, if you're in the Premier League, £100,000 a week. I don't know, it's because I don't. If I was earning it, like, I want more. But I think realistically, in my head, like, you can't not live £100,000 a week.
I think that people live to the means, don't they?
Well, yeah.
And I think when you get to that level, you look at just imagine Ronaldo as an example. If you've got a private jet, like just for that to sit grounded. It's going to cost you $3 million a year or something. So I'm going to need to find $3 million for my private jet to stay housed and just to sit still. Do you know what I mean? Then my house is $5 million and my other house is $5 million and then I've got another house that's $5 million. Do you know what I mean? Like the outgoings will be ridiculous. I get that, but
that's only because of how football's become. That's like a stepping stone towards these lifestyles, isn't it? Really.
But if you're making off your brand and you're making all these money off these endorsements, then surely, like, the sensible side of you goes, right, so this money that I earn, my contracted amount of money that I earn per week is what I live to. They're the bills that need paying. That contract covers that. This stuff that I'm getting, my sponsorships, everything else, all my extra stuff, that's for me businesses that I've got going, that's for me yacht that needs to be stationed, that's for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
bits and bobs.
You can't be turning over $25 million a year and not have no dough. Like, I don't understand.
No.
Like how that works, even how high your expenses go out. Some other mad little clauses in contracts or bonuses that people used to have. Do you remember the Brazilian Ronaldos?
The best
that he had. So
I loved him growing up. You know,
it was class.
I wish. Like when we were growing up, back in the old days.
Are you going to let me tell you what the thing is?
Yeah, I know, in a minute. Wish we had YouTube, because Ronaldo was, for me, I was a striker. we only watched Goal Lazio.
Yeah.
On
So that's
Sunday
the only
morning,
and that'd be like a 10-minute clip of
Yeah. Because you had nothing Spanish wise.
No.
Did we?
It was hard to find because I've always
literally had Serie A, and that was it. And I used to love watching Ronaldo.
It was only when you started to get the Sky channels and that is when you started to get
La Liga
and stuff. But is odd when you got to watch the Champions League on ITV. Yeah, you'd see the other teams because I remember buzzing off Barcelona and Stoichkov. Do you know what I mean? I just loved Stoichkov, Romario. I just loved watching Barcelona.
90 team.
Yeah. Remember when they never had sponsors?
No.
Barcelona and Real Madrid never had a sponsor. No. And then they just started banging them on. Everywhere, like hockey teams. But Ronaldo's bonuses and his clauses in contracts is a mad one as well. Like, so one of his clauses in his contract was if he was 65 to 70% fit, he starts.
Wow.
No matter what. So at Real Madrid, when he joined Real Madrid, his contract was at that. If he was 65, 70%, I don't know how they measure it. Couldn't tell you. And probably they couldn't back then. But
I'm feeling about 4 out of 10.
About 70%. I can play today, and especially if he's getting an appearance fee. The guy's going to be 70% if his legs falling off. But that was a clause in his contract. That's a mad one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If I'm 70% fit, so that means if I've got fluid on the knee and I can't bend it, so I can't twist and turn.
To be fair though,
I can run in straight lines and pass a fitness test.
Yeah.
I'm playing.
and a 70% Ronaldo you take all day, because it's probably better than 100% of everyone else.
But then you've got Raul, Morientes. Yeah. Like, you've got these guys waiting in the wings. Like, mate, I can have a game.
I'm like 99% of the. I
just scored 3 last week and he was injured. Let me play. There's so many mad clauses. What other mad ones is there? There'll be so many to mention.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Look into them.
Yeah.
Speaking of clauses, anyway, we're gonna loop into this with talk FIFA. I'm at United at the minute, so bit of background on me and Lovey. We've played career modes. We've played football managers, Premier managers. What was the one you spoke about the other day? Pro Evolution. Yeah. What was that called? That one.
It was called professional soccer.
Oh no, not the career mode, but the
Masters League.
Masters League. That's it. I always keep saying. So we're massive on basically career mode.
Mate, it's good the feedback that we got as well.
Yeah.
And it's mad, like the age range of people that play career mode.
It seems to be
our age range that are still gaming but playing career mode.
Are still getting. I don't know about you. Shit off the wife. What are you doing here now? You know it's not real.
It's not real.
I know it's not real. I've been playing it on a freaking PlayStation.
It's mad though, because when you talk about, like, say if I'm on the phone to you and I'm like, yeah, and Ronaldo went for X amount of millions, she'll go, Ronaldo's in United. It's like, no. On FIFA.
Well, Leo goes, you're talking real football, the PlayStation football.
Yeah, real football. Yeah. Is this real?
Yeah, it's real. So I'm at United. So at the minute I'm doing a Jose Mourinho type career. Started at a team called Famalicão in Portugal.
Yep.
And my aim was 2 or 3 seasons, in and out, win something or leave the club in a better place at the start and then move on. So I've gone Famalicão, Monaco, went over to Bayern Munich, and now I'm at United.
And you've won the titles in...
I've won titles in France, Germany, England. I've done cups in all of them. The only thing I haven't won anything in was Portugal. I got them into Europa League conference. You're not going to
do if you're Famalicão. No. Do you know what I mean?
And to be fair, I signed Gareth Bale on a free. I'm at the second season.
Do you know why though? Golf courses are really Portugal.
I put a bonus in there.
Golf course bonus.
So at the minute, a lot of me, I'm in the year 2027 or something like that. So a lot of my players now are like 30 odd, so I'm trying to bring new ones in. Trying to bring some new youngsters, sort of 22, 23, and I've been trying to negotiate, because usually I just delegate it and go, oh, here's what I'll offer them.
I love negotiating.
I'll try and negotiate.
I love that scene thing that they do in that. Yeah, man.
I don't pressing X me just to speed it up.
I speed it up, but I like to do the negotiations myself. Yeah.
But with all these bonuses and stuff. Anyway, I've been a right tight bastard. Even though I've got like 700 million to spend, I've been trying to negotiate with all these bonuses and signing on fees, and I've lost about three players from it, so I've ended up just delegating it again.
I buzz off. The career that I'm doing is I started at Bolton, so I went a little bit lower, didn't I?
Just on that, I used to do from
you did
since I've started back at Premier Manager realms of fantasy in like
the lowest league
in the 80s, early 90s on the Amstrad, it's always been start the conference or League Two, whichever one it was, work your way up to champions, and then that's what I've always done until this past year when you were like, mate, you need to get on like the foreign leagues. And I'm like, I don't know.
It's different.
I've done it, and now I'm like, fuck England, man. I'm not going back.
Yeah, well, and because I've always done, I've always started in a foreign league. Then I thought, you know what, I'll start somewhere in the UK. So I've gone. I remember when you did the Scotland one, and it was rubbish.
I ended up quitting. I ended up quitting just after January because it bored me to tears.
So I thought, like,
you need to have a league that's got
promotion, relegation. Yeah. So I went with Bolton, and like the objective was to fight for promotion. I think because we was just recently into League One. So I did that, and then I remember getting offered at the end of the season. I got into the playoffs, but we lost in the semi-final of the playoffs or the final. I can't remember. In the final of the playoffs, I had loads of free agents lined up, but then I got offered the Malaga job. And I thought, ooh, let me have a look at this here. So I had a look, and when I took the job, I didn't really, I just got giddy. So I didn't really look at what objectives there was. I didn't look at where they were sitting. You just
seen Malaga and was like, Malaga.
The season had finished. I'd been offered a Malaga job. So I thought, you know what? There's some history in that because somebody took over. They tried to compete with the big boys. They ended up getting smashed and then being bankrupt and having no money.
Pellegrini, manager.
Yeah, mate, they had quite a few, and they had some really good players. Santa Cazorla, loads of players went there. I think they got into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, 2 or 3 seasons in a row. But then when they didn't make the Champions League, they didn't have enough money, so they struggled. And then the owner ended up getting, I think he got frozen of running the club because he was shifting money here, there, and everywhere. So I thought, you know what? There's some history there, and it's a club that's never won a league title before, and it'll be hard to win La Liga if you're not Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Atletico Madrid. So I thought, you know what, I'll go for it. So I went for it, started the season, and I looked, and I was like, oh, they've been promoted, they're in La Liga, so they won their playoffs. So I lost my playoffs. And then I took over Malaga. And why this manager's left, by the way, I don't know. There's something that FIFA like to do. We're doing well, good mate, but seeing a bit, we want this guy.
When I took over United, they were top of the league.
Yeah.
And like blitzing it, and I was like, well, this is an easy English Premier, isn't it?
Yeah. So I took over, and then they've gone, right, you're the manager, it's July upcoming, you're in La Liga, your objective is to fight relegation, survive pretty much.
Yeah.
I've looked at my squad, mate, remember when I told you, I had 17 players in my squad, I had no money, I had something like 1.2 million quid to spend. I mean, La Liga, I've got no players.
Lovey's every notepad and pen just doing finances. Mate, this ain't gonna work. Have you seen that meme where the guy's like, oh my god, and he's like constantly going, I don't know.
Just trying to, mate, and I looked, I went into the squad, and I looked at how long people's contracts was, and out of 17 players, 14 of them had 1 year left. They had $1 million. There was, mate, don't get me wrong, they was on $6,000 a week, like they weren't on much money and stuff. But I had to then go mad in the free agents, and I had to do I couldn't delegate. I didn't have enough money to delegate.
You just proper
so mate, and I remember.
Mate, would you say like £1 a week and we'll get you some chippy on
Friday? I was mad because I couldn't even swap deal players because I didn't have enough players to be able to do it with. And and I thought, because I like fighting and getting into Europe and fight, I thought I'm gonna hate this. Yeah. I'm gonna chin it off. But it's been probably my most exciting career to do. So I've literally no money, no squad.
Underdog story.
Oh mate, I had to spend all that million on a youth academy. I signed 4 free agents, and I couldn't scout them. I couldn't look, so I didn't know if there was any good. I had to just
gamble.
I had to just look at them and be like, I didn't soul FIFA it either. If anybody doesn't know what soul FIFA is, it's
cheat mode.
Mate, it's an unreal site for anybody who wants to know if the players are any good or if the growth's good, if they develop, how much they cost. It's just a good website to use, especially if you play career mode. So I didn't soul FIFA it. I just thought, you know what, I'll properly do it the right way.
Yeah.
And I've just gone, right, he looks half decent, I'll get him, he's got a real head, we'll go with these guys.
Yeah, because we have a rule, I don't know if you've started keeping up with this rule,
100%,
with Malaga,
yeah, no shadow heads.
Yeah, no shadow heads.
If they've not got a picture, I ain't signing them. Don't matter how good they are.
The amount of players that have been ballers in my clubs over the years.
I've got shadow heads.
And I'm like, oh mate, I can't see your face.
FIFA sort that out,
off your
What's up with you? How hard is it to get a picture of a current player that's playing in professional football?
Some of them
get
are
a picture of them.
actual players as well, just like made up.
Yeah.
It's
a real player, but it's not got a picture. Yeah, so I get rid of all shadow heads, and that's what I mean. I had a squad of 17, I had 4 shadow heads, but they had to stay for the meantime.
That would have done me. I put them to reserve. I like making train with youth team.
So what I did was I did that. I signed 4 guys from the free agents, and then I used the rest of my money on a youth academy, and I just looked to bring in youth team. I ended up bringing in like 8. I think it was 10 youth team players. I'm trying to make it sound like I didn't really know. I know exactly how many players. I signed 10 players.
I can't wait to see your spreadsheet.
I signed 10 players from the youth academy, and the objective was to fight relegation. I got to Christmas and I'd not won a single game. Remember when I sent you that picture? Yeah. I'd not won a single game. I was bottom of the league. I drew 2 and I'd lost the rest. But the crazy thing is I was 2 points off safety because the other 3 teams that was above me were just as bad. So I was
that's like a blessing in it, because if everyone was decent, you'd be like, relegated by Christmas.
And because at the time then I'd got this many. I'd signed 10 youth players from a youth academy as in my squad. My squad depth was a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Now these kids, I got 2 or 3 68, 69 rated players, which did me all right with the squad that I had. In that league, obviously not great, but what it did do for me was it allowed me to sell my shadow heads, and some of my shadow heads were my best players in my squad. So I was making 4. So when the January window came, put them up for sale. I got 4 million for 1. I got 3 million for 2. Mate, release clauses was ridiculous because I didn't have money to sign it to change contracts. No. People were leaving on release clauses, but it was bringing me money in. And because I was scraping the bottom of the barrel, I had to do that.
The worst thing with release clauses is if you're like a decent team and then your player just goes, oh, by the way, each of a release clause, I'm off, mate. You're like, well, I'm not even going to chat with you. Come here.
Yeah, you have to just say it quickly. We kind of want you to stay, mate. But yeah, so I did that, and then at the end of January, I ended up getting a couple of decent players. So then I ended up surviving, and I finished 15th. I had that mad sprint, so I think it was the 22-23 season, because I did a season at Bolton, and then I went there, did that first season, and I finished the season in 15th place. Grafted my knackers off, mate. It was the
Did you take most time off?
Mate, it was the most. I swear to God, it was the most fun I've ever had doing a career.
Is it?
Yeah, because I've always just gone mid-league mediocre with a bit of money.
And to be fair, I've never really took over a team that's like struggling.
But mate, I was scraping like that £1 million just got me a youth academy. That was it. I had no money.
Something we'll talk about, because this is a method we tried, I think, and we've not fully done it.
Yeah.
Is a money ball method.
Yeah.
And we'll start setting challenges. Actually, I think
that would be good, and then to feed back.
And
see where
the money ball. If you've not seen Moneyball, we'll talk about it next week, I reckon.
Yeah.
But if you've not seen Moneyball, go on Netflix, in it. I think it is.
Yeah, Netflix. Moneyball. Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill.
It's
class.
Brilliant. But
if you like sport and you like the detail behind the runnings of a club, then
we'll try and plug that into FIFA, because I think that'll be a decent one to do that.
Yeah.
100%. I'm what I mean. I've got France, Germany, England. I want wins in Italy and Spain.
Yep.
And that's my aim for Jose Mourinho career. Ideally, because you're not like me. I like one league, one career, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're about 17 on the go at the same time.
I've got about 4.
So we'll start talking Moneyball next week. Yeah. And we'll try and get some, if people are listening, try and get them involved. Get at us on the socials and get involved. We'll put something up, and we'll try and just sound like a mad Moneyball league across everywhere.
Can I just say, my Malaga now? I'm in my second season, my second spell at Malaga, and we're 6 in La Liga, and we're flying.
Yes,
absolutely flying. We've still not got much money.
No.
I think my budget was about 16
proper Leicester in it.
But mate, it was class, because I'm having to sell to get more money in to compete. But I think just for me, for that career, like you said, you want to win titles in all over leagues, which is mint because I've done that before. But what my objective is to leave that club in a position where, when I'm somewhere else, I can look back at that club and be like, wow, they're flying. Nah. No way. That might take, but it might take me the full 15 seasons to get them to that point because it is a slug. But like the next step is to finish mid-table, have a good cup run because my cup run was non-existent the first season, and then push for Europe, mate. Push for the Conference League, which I don't like in real life, but I'll push for that.
Shocking. Right, next week we're back. We're going to drop this on a Monday every week.
Yeah.
Monday, so obviously just catch up. But next week we're going to chat Moneyball. Like I said, we're on socials, so have a look. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're going to put it up on YouTube as well. But get at us, follow us. Like I say, we want, especially FIFA, we want a lot of interaction. We want to eventually get like just a load of mad career modes going on. And like I was looking at Instagram last night, people doing career modes. There's so much out there. I think it's just, if you don't take it not too seriously, but you know, it's a pastime at the end of the day. Like the wife will give you a bit of shit, or you're playing video games. You're like, but
it's my era though. Like that's what people forget. Like FIFA created what's it called? The thing that people all do online.
Ultimate Team.
Yeah, they've created Ultimate Team. They've got Volta. They've got all these things where they can play each other online, and that's for a younger generation, which is class. It's good, but for me, like I don't want to jump online and have to play with people online. I just want to do my own thing.
Plus, as well, like we've got kids. We've got.
Sometimes we can only devote 40 minutes an hour.
We want to just jump in, do a little bit, jump out. And I think the way FIFA's going with career mode now is absolutely bang on.
Yeah, it's class.
Right, we'll be back next week. Decent first episode back.
Is that how you're going to end it?
Feels good to be behind the mic again, doesn't it?
I was going to say, is that how you're going to end it? Right, we'll be back.
Right, see you in a bit, off you pop. Right, have a good week, and we'll see you next week.